DJ, you go crazy.
DJ UTV, let them know who we got in the building.
Oh, don't edit this out. Smart.
Smart, guy.
Smart.
What you want, guy?
Man, everything. I mean, No Labels tour. I'm very excited about that because the No Labels tour starts March. We start in Texas, so we're doing Texas, LA, Atlanta, and then New York. So that's like my main focus right now is the No Labels tour. And that tour, we're going to be teaching artists, content creators, entrepreneurs the science of self-reliance, how to understand their business, how to scale their business, right? Like, especially for guys who have YouTube channels, right? Because, Netflix makes maybe 98% of their money off subscription based, right? And you look at the content creators, we're making better, you guys are making better quality content than Netflix, but you're not making nowhere near the profits, right? And I believe that we're in the times of David and Goliath, and technology is a slingshot, right? But the rock inside the slingshot is collaboration, and the collaboration has to be peer-to-peer, horizontal, not vertical. And then once we solidify collectives through these horizontal collaborations, then vertically we can network as well, okay? Because the game used to be, Netflix seeks out original content from content creators such as yourself, and then you have a production house, then they buy the production house, and then they rehire you and your team to shoot original content for them, and they put that big, stupid, nasty N on your content that you shot, and you think Netflix shot it, but you really did, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have the ability to make content that valuable to that level of a platform, then you should be able to do it for yourself.
That's correct.
Right? And then there's a conscious aspect to what we're doing with the No Labels tour, because I feel like hip hop artists shouldn't be a dangerous occupation, right? And they use music as a form of crack to break down black communities. Now, back in the day, the government used crack to break down our communities. Now they're using music. We're the only genre, like, and you guys from Chicago, right? Like drill means kill, right? So you don't see Jewish people saying kike, kike, murder, murder, right? But you see nigger, nigger, murder, murder, and it's okay. And with the No Labels tour, I want to teach, especially black artists, the social responsibility you have to make content that is conducive to community revitalization, right? Specifically in Chicago too, right? Because I think a lot of people, they talk about, GD and GD killer and the vice laws and all these gangs, but these gangs had revolutionary roots. They were created to protect the community. And then when there's no viable leadership torches being passed, now you have dysfunction. And then now it's like, oh, GD, and it's like a whole nother vibe. And little black boys in Chicago are not opening up grocery stores, barbershops, supermarkets, their own hospitals. They're not getting gun licenses. All these kids are carrying firearms, but hey, go get a gun license, right? And your block, your neighborhood should be protected by you, not terrorized. But that starts with a mentality, right? And what we're talking about is subconscious mind reprogramming. How you think creates how you feel becomes an emotion, that emotion becomes a vibration, that vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So when we start changing the minds of these little black boys, we change the community. Now, white supremacists, they understand this, right? Before you become a man, you're a boy. Before you're a boy, you're a baby. So the programming starts early. A child's learning curve is from 0 to 7. This is why the music and the content at those young ages is designed in a way to program those kids for destruction. And if we don't own platforms that we create the content on, then we cannot deliver content in a way that uplifts our community. And we have, a responsibility to do that. So it's like, okay, I got a YouTube channel, but I need to get a satellite. Now, okay, how much does a satellite cost? On a low end, $5 million. So LeBron can't be bragging about $100 million contracts and we ain't got no eyes in the sky for us. You talking about radio, everybody wants to do a podcast. We need our own radio towers, right? Mm-hmm. And then once we're empowered, now we need our own Vivendi, we need our own Viacom, right? Like these French companies is running shit over here and we have no seat at the table, right? Because we're not supposed to build our house in the next man's backyard. We're supposed to have our own house, our own backyard, and invite him over at the barbecue, and we come to his barbecue. Okay? So I didn't want this interview to be about territory. I wanted it to be about information.
Right.
And that's why I was excited to meet you brothers, right? Yeah. And in Chicago specifically, there's a lot of, once blood is shed, there's no forgiveness, right? You kill mine, I want to kill yours. Mm-hmm. So I'm not trying to stop the violence, right? I'm trying to create other opportunities that can maybe prevent the violence. Yeah. Right? And content, they're gonna watch you. They're gonna learn from you guys, right? And they're gonna watch your content. They're gonna be inspired by it, like, damn, okay. Fuck what this New York motherfucker talking about, right? But this is some real shit. We love firearms. We have a right to bear arms. I'm not telling no gangbanger to put the gun down, but go get a license. Because when you understand how to really use a firearm, you're gonna use it differently, right? Like, I know how to box. I'm really good with my hands. Do you think, the funniest thing is, when I've learned how to really box, I fight less. Right. There's a whole different level, because to fight, you gotta be calm, you gotta be relaxed. I do wrestling, do martial arts, right? It decreases the aggression. So now if you learn how to use a firearm and you understand how to get it, you're going to the gun range, right? It's gonna change. It's gonna change, the approach. And then when you have different opportunities created by your own in your community, now you can eat. But this starts with a mindset, right? How you think creates how you feel becomes an emotion, that emotion becomes a vibration, that vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. Black people, this is melanin, right? But our brains produce melanin too. It's called neuromelanin. And that gives us the ability to attract and manifest things. How is that important to you? Because you black, you got a brain, and there's melanin inside of it. So the guys from Chicago that's watching this, I'm not promoting myself. I'm not promoting New York. I'm promoting change in Chicago. Right? And we got some of the strongest, toughest, fearless brothers in Chicago. Right? When the Black Panthers was created, a lot of that stuff came from Chicago. For sure. When they was going to war with the police and they had issues it was the vice lords, it was them GDs, it was the gangbangers that we so-called try to downplay, right? We have to get back to our revolutionary roots, because this is America. And America's a place of business. It's not a home, it's a hotel. So when you understand what America really is, then you fight. This is a capitalistic system, right? So if we don't understand finances, what are we doing? We just shooting each other? Makes no fucking sense. Okay? So with the No Labels tool, we're trying to reprogram the minds of our community. And we can work with people from other communities for the greater good of America, of this country. Okay? Now, hey, back in the day, when the South couldn't compete, like when up north couldn't compete with down south, because down south had free slave labor, right? That's what the Civil War was about. They didn't give a fuck about freeing us, right? It was like, okay, you motherfuckers over here, you got 100 fucking black people in the field working for free. We trying to pay people in factories. We're gonna fight this out. So maybe slavery back then was good for the economy. Entrepreneurship and diverse leadership is better for this economy in this day and time. So we want America to survive, and we don't want to be saying Guten Tag, Danke, Danke, Grasiva, right? Like, meaning like people from Russia and other countries came in and take over. Then we got to understand what the new America looks like, right? What does the new founding fathers look like? Because America has to have a rebirth. It has to have a rebirth. And one person, one family, one collective, companies like BlackRock, Vivendi, LVMH, they've had a strength, like a monopoly for years. But that's not for the greater good of America. And if we're not careful, there will be no America. Right? So that's what my focus is waking everybody up. It's not about territory. It's only one territory, US fucking A. Right? Because division is how you conquer. So Chicago, no, USA. When we go to war, Okay, an insurgent is not saying he's from Chicago, I'm gonna shoot him in the face. He's from New York, I'm gonna shoot him in the leg. No, man, you American, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So we have to embrace that, right? But yeah, okay.
Right. So tell us a little bit more about yourself, though. You know, the man with the plan. You speak with a lot of intellect, and after doing research, we see that you got pretty good insight on certain things involving the music industry. You know, our neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you a man with some intellect, so I was excited to speak with you today.
For sure.
So welcome to DJ UTV. You know, you definitely jumped the gun the last 10 minutes, but
yeah.
I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Because it's like, you know, with the content, right? I know this lives past me, right? I watch. Okay, so when I said the guy, right, he looks like Sergey Brin, right? Sergey Brin and Larry Page, they created Google, right? I've watched interviews of those guys before they made Google, right? Like, content is so important.
For sure.
Right? I was homeless. My mother's a drug addict. Okay? I've made millions of dollars, bro. But I sat in prison. I've sold drugs in my community. Right? Beat up by the police. Watched my mother get high. Never knew my father. And me watching interviews and me reading books. I mean, I know Oedipus Rex. I know Socrates. I've read over 1,000 books. Content, man. Yeah. I've watched interviews and watched people speak, and when I had a gun in my hand and a blunt in my hand and a bottle in my pocket, I'm watching an interview and I'm like, yo, it can be better, it can be different. I'm watching Bob Proctor, Tony Robinson, you know what I mean? I'm so happy and grateful now. Money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. I'm in a fucking crack house, man, reciting Bob Proctor. I can't tell my friends, who the fuck is Bob Proctor? You know what I mean? But I'm believing and I'm cultivating a new mentality. Yeah. I'm shifting my perspective, right? And that is how powerful content is, bro. And the greatest people who walk this earth, they all have humble beginnings. So I make sure every content that I create or whatever, I'm gonna say something that I hope inspires somebody. Not just from Chicago, not just black, not just white, but there's people who are hopeless and they need hope. So watching interviews like this and knowing like, oh, you came from that? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah. Tell us more about where you come from, though. We know you're from New York. What part of New York?
From Harlem.
Okay. Harlem.
Yep.
Tell us about it, though.
Well, it was tough, right? So my mom's, she wanted to be with my father, right? My father was like a playboy, you know what I mean? He had all the girls. And so my father gets my mother pregnant, right? And my father, he has a whole nother family. He's double life, right? He's getting married. Like a movie, my mom shows up to the wedding with me, right? You know, speak now or forever hold your peace. I'm speaking now, I love you. And he denounced both of us in the fucking wedding. It's like a movie, right? And I'm like, damn, what the fuck, right? So my mother, she took that rejection really hard. She turned to drugs. And then she took out, I guess on me, you know, the rejection from my father, it translated into abuse for me, right? And she felt like, because I'm a spitting image of my father, right? So it's like, if I'm hurting my son, maybe I'm hurting his dad because he looks just like his dad. And it just was immense pain. A lot of beatings. She would lock me in closets to go out and get high, and just all these things. Shelters. It was just crazy, and I never had no steady upbringing. And that's why in my song I talk about that, right? It feels like God cursed me and my brothers because all I do is suffer, and the pain came from my mother. But a rose won't grow from this concrete. Roots getting pulled out, petals getting stepped on. You came home high. You beat me half to death. You said that I slept wrong. Bloody tampons, empty bottles of liquor, cracked valves on the same bed I slept on. How the could I sleep wrong? You got me laying on the bed I could barely even sleep on, right? So picture that image, right? A kid, you laying on this bed and you laying on everything, right? And you going through it, man. And I just want to be loved by this woman who's supposed to love me, but I ain't getting that fucking love. Right? But something inside me internally is like, nah, bro, like you gonna survive. I don't, you know what I mean? And it was very tough because I wanted to kill myself. Like I didn't want to live. I was suicidal. So I'm getting in shootouts. I'm going through everything, right? Because I didn't care about myself. I didn't love myself, you know? and I'm robbing people. One friend I robbed, they caught me slipping. They back out 2 guns and point the guns in my face. And they're like, shoot me, nigga, shoot me. Yeah, I ain't care. You heard? I ain't care about my life, bro. I ain't care about myself, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was so far gone. And when I reflected on it, I was like, damn, I was too young. Like, look at who I became now. That shit could have went away. Right? So it was just tough. But I always loved knowledge. I always loved reading. I always wanted to figure out, how can I get things better? That's why I live and die by that. How you think creates how you feel. I always wanted to learn more. I would ask the old crackheads, the old gangsters on the block, yo man, how you do this, how you do that, and then eventually I started to learn, right? We started hustling, we started selling drugs. We got the right mentality, but the wrong product, right? Those are my early entrepreneurial beginnings. Also, me understanding how to manage money, my early levels of accounting, right? How to flip it, how to get the money right, you know? We're really running the organization. I'm a CEO from the fucking curb, right? So, and then going to jail, going to juvie, going to prison, and now it's like, I bet this is animal lessons, right? They call us animal lessons, right? Because Alan C-74, right? Is, you know, I'm not in no gang, but I don't care because you in the gang. Fuck you, I'm getting on this phone, B. Like, so I'm in jail, cutting people, stabbing people. I got stabbed in the head. I'm going through all this. My life is like a fucking tornado, right? Then I finally get to prison, and I'm sitting in prison like. My first thing that's going through my mind is, you know, I don't want to get raped. I don't want to get cut. You gotta make a decision, right? Are you going to be a wolf or are you going to be a sheep? Oh, well, I'm not bad. I'm not doing none of that shit. Oh, I'm going crazy. So I'm going crazy. Now they put me in a box. I'm in Southport box, right? Southport box is the hole. I cut 2 people. I'm doing 2 years in the box, bro. Mm-hmm. So in the box is smaller than this room. Right? The bed is it's not even a bed, right? At the tip of the bed is your toilet bowl. At the end of the bed is the shower. The shower only is this deep. It's like you can get in and get wet. Minute shower twice a week. You know? So I'm locked in that shit. I'm in there going crazy. But from there, it was like, okay, I had this moment, like I gave up. I gave up on life. I laid on the floor in the hole like this, just like, it's over. Like dead, like looking up like this. I can't move, right? And I felt like that was my first rebirth, right? Like God came to me in that cell and was like, no, we got a plan for you. You know what I mean? And then I was just like, I bet. Now I wanted to read every book I could. Then I came across a book called Bo Lozoff, We're All Doing Time. It was a book on meditation. Then I came across a book, Tony Robbins, Unlocking the Giant Inside, right? And I'm reading all these books. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The Alchemist by Pablo Coelho, right? The story of Macbeth. The story of Oedipus Rex, the guy who killed his father and married his mother. It's crazy stories, right? Greek mythology, and I'm getting all these stories, right? Hercules, and I'm reading these stories, right? And I'm envisioning myself in these moments like, okay, I'm going through this. I'm in my Lazarus. I'm in my chamber of rebirth. I started working out. I started reading. Then I had a plan. Okay, my plan actually ended up being direct to consumer. I'm gonna get out of jail. I'm starting my company. I'm doing music, man. Fuck that. I'm gonna survive. And I say content is so important because you could read a book, but you still reading a book from a nigga in America's eyes. You still reading a book from a black man. So you know the guy trying to go into business with Edison, right, was white. So he could walk into the spot, hey man, I want to go in business with you. And my definite purpose is this. And it's like, really? Okay, man, we'll give you a shot. You go in there, it's like, hold on, hey, excuse me, police, hold on, check his pockets, the nigger's in the building. So I had to learn how to be adaptive with the information I was consuming. Because it was unwritten rules for being black. I had to talk like this. And the muscles like this and hi, how you doing? It was a lot, right? And it was almost like a form of emasculation where it was like, okay, man, f this. Because these white motherfuckers, they're ambitious and I'm aggressive. They're ambitious and I'm aggressive. What the f? So what that did was, it kind of ostracized me and made me an outcast, right, in the corporate American structure. And then I had to figure out how to do this shit on my own. Because you cannot go to war with fucking Nerf. Like, you ever see the Nerf noodles? You ain't going to white man swinging a sword. He cutting heads off like Vikings, and they want me in there with it. Come on, man. Like, it's not gonna work, bro. It's a handicap, right? So I had to learn how to separate, information consumption by being a black man versus just being a man, right? And that bothered me, right? Like, it really bothered me because it's like, here it is. I'm really working hard to change my life. And there's a lot of people who watch this, they go through the same thing and they fall. When the doors get closed, they don't realize that they can build their own house and walk their own door. Self-reliance, right? So it just was a process. Then I got out of prison, I started working, doing music, I get record deals, I'm starting writing for people, I'm having success, right? And then here comes the bullshit. Here comes the bullshit. Here comes the compromise, here comes the bend. I'm not bending at all. This is not a part of the business. Your sexuality is the bedroom and the ballroom is two different things, buddy. I'm not knocking what you do now. I'm a freak too, man. But what I do freaky don't mean nothing with business. I can't bend. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I have integrity, I can't do it. My soul is not for sale. My soul is not for sale. So now, lose record deals. I've done interviews about it. If you look at the Math Hoffa interview, it went viral, 400 million views on TikTok, whatever, right? And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, right? But however, when you put people, we talk about the Weinsteins and the other guy with the creepy island and stuff like that. When you put bad people in power, they're not responsible with the position that they have, right? With great power comes great responsibility. And unfortunately, a lot of times, there's irresponsible people in positions of power, and they use that power to abuse people, to hurt people, to destroy people's lives. I couldn't go for it, so I had to create my own way. Then I started selling CDs. I made my first $1 million selling CDs hand to hand, bro. I still sell CDs. I got businesses, I got stock, I got Bitcoin. I don't believe in it, but I got it. It's a perception thing, right? But I still sell CDs because CD is the fucking vinyl. For artists, if you're a rapper, the CD is your vinyl. Don't get it fucked up. And record labels strategically took away physical products off your list because they can take the control, your control, which is your money, away from you. Okay? So to answer your question, like in short, make a long story short, my journey was tough. But I embraced it because I'm here now. Yeah. Right? So yeah.
DJ, you go crazy.